Here's the honest truth. The best oyster knife is the one that feels like an extension of your hand, secure, sharp where it counts, and tough enough to pop hinges without fighting you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which knife deserves a spot in your kitchen or raw bar kit, and why the top picks feel so effortless to use. In this countdown from 5 to 1, each knife has been tested on a mix of raw Gulf oysters, smaller East Coast oysters, and steamed shells to see how they handle hinge entry, leverage, comfort during longer sessions, and cleanup. Number 5. Rockland Guard Oyster Shucking Knives. Okay, so the Rockland Guard is the budget-friendly starter. That friend who shows up, does the work, and doesn't ask for much fuss. The 3.5-inch stainless blade with a bent tip is designed for hinge entry and a straightforward pop, and the non-slip handle makes it less nerve-wracking when your hands are a bit wet or sandy, you know? It's the get-it-done tool for backyard boils and casual shucking nights. In hand, the first thing that stands out is the grip, rubbery, sure-footed, and forgiving if your technique isn't perfect. The blade has enough stiffness to pry, and on steamed oysters, this thing cruises. On small, delicate East Coast shells, it's fine. Just takes a little finesse because the tip is a touch thicker than premium knives, which means you sometimes feel the shell before you're fully in. Where it surprises is durability relative to price. The bent tip doesn't fold under normal use, and the finish holds up against rinse and repeat sessions. For beginners, the confidence boost from the non-slip ergonomic handle is real. It reduces the white-knuckle grip, and that's half the battle when learning to hinge safely. Now the drawbacks, well, there are a couple. The blade geometry isn't as refined as higher-end knives, so you use more wrist and forearm to pry thick-shelled oysters, which tires you out faster during big batches. And on stubborn Gulf oysters, the tip can feel bulky at the hinge. You'll find yourself repositioning more than you'd like. It's not a deal breaker, but you notice it. 4. BUBBA Oyster Shucking Knife. The BUBBA paddock shucking knife wears its brand DNA proudly. Grippy as heck, rugged, and built to pry. That iconic non-slip handle is one of the most secure grips in the category, and the 2.5-inch commercial-grade stainless blade with a curved tip gives you strong leverage at the hinge. It's made to hinge raw or steamed oysters and keeps control when the shell is muddy or slick. In actual use, the curved tip is the star. Slide, twist, pop, it feels natural once you get the angle, especially on medium to large oysters. The shorter blade keeps you close to the hinge and less likely to over-penetrate, which is great if you're still building confidence. The handle ergonomics are comfy over longer sessions, and hand fatigue stays lower than you'd expect for a leverage-first design. The steel 440C is a high-strength spec for a shucking blade, which helps maintain the edge and resist abuse when you're battling tight, gnarly hinges. That said, this isn't a slicer, it's a prier. You'll pop cleanly, but separating the adductor requires a bit more technique since the sides aren't sharpened like some premium designs. Now, the nitpicks. The overall length is compact and confidence-inspiring, but if you're used to a slightly longer blade for reach and side cuts, this can feel limiting. Also, on small, delicate oysters, the curved tip sometimes feels like too much tool for too little shell. You end up stepping lighter to avoid shell grit. 3. SPEENSUN Oyster Shucking Knife. The SPEENSUN brings a classic, almost old-school vibe, full-tang construction for strength, a comfortable wood handle, and a durable stainless blade that doesn't flex when things get tough. It looks and feels like a tool you'll keep around for years because it's built to work, not just look pretty on a board. On the board, the full tang shines through the first dozen oysters. No rattle, no give, just steady leverage you can trust. The blade thickness strikes a nice balance. Stiff enough to handle thicker shells, yet manageable at the hinge once you find your angle. If you prefer a traditional wood handle over rubberized grips, this feels more natural in the hand, secure without feeling gummy. What makes it enjoyable is the control during the turn. You wedge, twist, and there's a satisfying, predictable pop. If you like shucking raw and keeping presentation clean, you'll appreciate that the blade doesn't chew up the lip as long as you're precise. On steamed oysters, it glides. On cold, tight ones, it asks you to be patient and deliberate, which, honestly, rewards better technique. The wood handle also brings comfort when shucking for a longer session. It warms to your hand and maintains grip without hot spots. For folks who hate the feel of plastic, this is the sweet spot between aesthetic and utility. Maintenance is straightforward. Rinse, dry, a touch of care for the wood if you want it to age gracefully. 2. Accufine Oyster Shucking Knife. Now we're talking value and versatility. Accufine's set often includes gloves and even a bottle opener, and the compact stainless blade paired with a wooden handle makes it deceptively capable for both raw and steamed oysters. For anyone who wants a one-and-done kit to get shucking immediately, this is the grab-and-go option that punches above its price. In actual use, the compact style adds control at the hinge, especially for smaller oysters or if you're not yet comfortable with a longer blade. It's easy to index your thumb and feel where the tip is going. Less guesswork, fewer slips. The wooden handle settles in nicely, and the overall balance makes those first few turns feel predictable, which is huge for confidence. The inclusion of a bottle opener is more than a gimmick. It's a signal that this kit is built for hosting. Oysters, drinks, the whole vibe. And the gloves in the set give you that extra layer of safety for learning or for shucking at speed when friends are hovering over the platter. It's a well-considered package for real-world use. Performance-wise, it holds up well across different oysters, but especially shines on small to medium shells where a compact blade is an asset. On thicker Gulf shells, it still gets the job done. You just take a more patient approach at the hinge. Cleanup is quick, and the set's practicality, tools, protection, utility, is what makes it a standout at this tier. 1. Toadfish Oyster Shucking Knife. This is the one that feels purpose-built for pros and passionate home shuckers alike. The Toadfish Professional Edition features a Japanese stainless steel blade with a bent tip that makes hinge entry feel almost automatic, plus sharpened sides that help you slice the adductor cleanly without mangling the meat. The handle has an ergonomic thumbprint that locks you in, reducing slips and boosting control. What stands out immediately is the power from the thicker, low-flex blade. On large, thick-shelled oysters, the kind that usually make you sigh, this thing bites, pries, and opens with authority. Then those sharpened sides come into play. You pivot from pop to clean separation in one fluid motion. It's the smoothest pop-and-cut flow of any knife on this list. The details make it feel premium. A blade-through design for durability, stain-free, rust-resistant steel, and that tactile handle that just doesn't slip, even when your board is wet and your gloves are sandy. If you've ever had a knife twist in your hand at the worst moment, you'll appreciate how planted this feels during the turn. There's also a thoughtful ecosystem around it, pairing with a shucking cloth, versions with recycled handle materials, and clear guidance that the professional edition is tuned for thicker shells while the put-em-back version suits everyday shucking. That clarity shows in performance. It's specialized without being finicky. If you want a knife that makes you faster, cleaner, and more consistent, this is the benchmark. Final thought. So which should you choose? If you're new, Rockland Guard is the safe, affordable start. If you like a tanky grip and leverage first hinge work, BUBBA delivers. Want classic craftsmanship and full-tang confidence? SPEENSUN feels great. Need the best kit value with safety baked in? Accufine is your move. And if you're chasing pro-level control with clean, elegant shucks, Toadfish is the one.